Iran gives fiery response with fresh wave of strikes against the Gulf after President Trump vowed a massive new attack. The Gulf came under fresh fire as the IRGC launched the 27th wave of Operation Nasr-2, turning U.S. bases, radars, and logistics hubs into routine targets rather than rare exceptions. Mujtaba's missiles have already killed U.S. troops, and each new barrage raises the blunt question: are more American casualties being added to the toll? Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps says it has launched the 27th wave of Operation Nasr-2 on July 24, expanding its ongoing campaign of missile and drone attacks against U.S. forces and facilities. The latest strikes, according to the IRGC, targeted U.S. positions at the Al-Azraq base in Jordan and inflicted what it described as substantial damage to the installation. Tehran claimed the attack was aimed specifically at the barracks housing U.S. military personnel, alleging that some troops were killed and others wounded in the barrage. In a separate surprise operation, Iran says it destroyed a Patriot air defense system in Erbil, signaling continued focus on degrading American and Allied missile defense assets in Iraq. The IRGC also claimed it shot down a U.S. spy balloon and struck additional barracks used by American troops inside Iraq, further broadening the geographic scope of its offensive. Arab media reports say U.S. logistics depots located in the Saudi desert were likewise hit by Iranian drones, pointing to a deliberate effort to disrupt supply chains and rear-area support hubs. Meanwhile, Iran state television reported that several explosions were heard in the southern port city of Jask, suggesting parallel activity or retaliatory strikes near Iranian territory as the regional war intensifies. The United States has launched its 13th consecutive night of military strikes as the conflict with Iran enters another dangerous phase. President Donald Trump has ordered yet another round of attacks, signaling Washington has no intention of easing military pressure on Tehran. U.S. Central Command statement read, and I quote, U.S. forces started another night of strikes against Iranian military targets at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time today. This is the 13th consecutive night of strikes aimed to hold Iran accountable and diminish threats from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to commercial shipping. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, forces successfully completed the 13th straight night of strikes against Iran, July 23, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. CENTCOM targeted Iranian military command centers, drone storage facilities, communication networks, coastal surveillance sites and maritime capabilities to further diminish the threat Iran poses to civilian mariners and commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The international waterway remains open for transit despite recent attacks from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Commercial vessels continue to freely navigate the strait with U.S. military support. More than 50,000 U.S. service members are currently operating across the Middle East. Unquote. Fresh explosions have once again rocked multiple Iranian cities as U.S. strikes spread across the country before dawn. New blasts have also been reported across several provinces, suggesting the scope of the campaign continues to widen. The strategic port city of Jask has also come under renewed pressure as explosions echoed across southern Iran. U.S. missile strikes are now reported to have hit additional targets inside Khuzestan province. Iranian authorities say the latest strikes on Bandar Abbas have left at least 2 people injured. The IRGC claims it successfully intercepted a U.S. Tomahawk cruise missile during the latest wave of attacks. Air defense systems were activated over Kerman as another incoming threat approached. Iranian air defenses also sprang into action over eastern Tehran amid fresh alerts. Sirens once again echoed across Kuwait as regional tensions continued to intensify. Kuwait says its military intercepted another hostile Iranian drone before it could reach its target. Kuwait Army statement read, and I quote, Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting hostile missile and drone attacks following the sinful Iranian aggression. The General Staff of the Army notes that if explosion sounds are heard, they are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Kuwaiti air defenses successfully intercepted another drone after nationwide warning sirens sounded. Meanwhile, Iran-aligned groups are now claiming responsibility for fresh drone attacks targeting Kuwait. One reported strike targeted Kuwait's Abdali border terminal near the Iraqi frontier. Another drone attack reportedly struck a border command facility in the same area. Officials say at least 2 separate drone attacks were reported near the Kuwait-Iraq crossing. An IRGC-linked report claims the attacks were carried out in retaliation for recent U.S. airstrikes. Iranian sources say the strikes were revenge for the American attack on the Shalamcheh border area. The Gulf crisis is entering another dangerous phase as drone attacks continue expanding across the region. At the same time, Donald Trump says frozen Iranian assets could now be used to compensate shipping losses. Washington is considering using Iranian funds under U.S. control to pay for commercial shipping damages. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "Please let this statement serve to represent, until further notice, that from this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but, nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Unquote. On the other hand, Iran's foreign minister condemned Trump's comment and said, "Seizing another nation's assets to pay for unrelated future claims is an incendiary precedent. Those who celebrate or profit from such funds should remember, once governments normalize confiscation, no one's assets are safe. Ensuing chaos will not be pretty or peaceful." Unquote. Trump also downplayed the growing wartime death toll while describing his visit to Dover as deeply emotional.
"We're doing very well against the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're doing extremely well. They would like to do something, but I say they're not ready yet. They need more of the same. They're not ready yet. They got some evil intentions. We cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. If we did all this that I'm talking about your data centers, isn't that important? When they start blowing away communities one by one, we cannot let them ever even think about having a nuclear weapon, and that's exactly what's happening. They'll never have a nuclear weapon under the. And I had a very sad day yesterday. I went to Dover. 4 great American patriots killed. That's 18 in 2 wars, and 1 is too many, but it's 18. Whereas in Vietnam we lost 200,000. We lost thousands and thousands in Afghanistan. We lost thousands in every war. The Korean War, thousands, and these wars all lasted for years. And we want to get it over with, and we want to do it right. But we have to do what we came to do, and that's we can't let these people, very violent people, we can't let them have what they want, which is nuclear weapons. It came from all of this success, came from innovation and ambition and drive. In this country, we build the future fearlessly and confidently so that America always will be strong, prosperous, and dominant. I'm going over now to talk about various and sundry subjects. One is the Iran war. Well, again, we're doing very well, very, very well. I would say better than anybody expected could be done. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force, all of their radar, most of their capability in terms of manufacturing. Their drones are down 84%. Their missiles are down 91%. And I had a newspaper say, they're in stronger position today than they were 4 months ago. No, that's not the truth. That's not right. I can't believe they're even allowed to say it. New York Times said, they're in stronger position today. They have no military. They have no Navy. They had 159 ships. Everyone's at the bottom of the sea. They had 212 airplanes. Everyone is gone. They have no radar. They have no anti-aircraft. They have no nothing. Other than they're mean and they're smart and they still have some capability. But 4 months ago, trust me, they were much, much stronger. Okay? I want to give you the non-fake news.
As both sides continue exchanging strikes, the U.S. Iran conflict is spreading across the Gulf with no clear end in sight.